Hi, everyone. Welcome to this webinar today, Making a Conscious Choice for Vibrant Health. We are going to get started real soon, so just go ahead and settle in, get real comfortable, and I will be with you shortly. All right, welcome everybody to Making a Conscious Choice for Vibrant Health. I'm so excited to have you all joining us today. Let me get the video working here and move this out of the way. Okay, wonderful. So we have a few more minutes before we will go ahead and get started, just to let everybody have plenty of time to join. But for those of you who have already joined, welcome. I'm so excited that you are here and present live so that we can talk and have some real conversation about how we can make conscious choices for our vibrant health in today's world. I have so much that I want to share with you. I can't wait to get started. So if you are on already, go ahead and click on the chat button and go ahead and type in your name and your location in the chat. I just love to see where everybody is calling in from and get to know you a little bit. So, and I will type that note in the chat as well. So please do go ahead and put your name and location in the chat. Great. Hi, Sandra from South Africa. Hi, Dawn from Alaska. So great to see both of you here. Wonderful. And I see there's lots more people on, so I encourage everybody to, let's get friendly here. Let's get to know each other a little bit. Go ahead and put your name and your location in the chat. It's always so fun to see where everybody's calling in from. Hi, Barb from Wisconsin. Welcome. Hi, Erhard from Denmark. Welcome, welcome. Hi, Sequoia from Ashland, Oregon. Hi, Seb from Norway. Hi, Tina from California. So glad to see you all here. Hi, Orla from Ireland. Hi, Pam from San Jose, California. And welcome to Jocelyn from Cape Town. Welcome to Jolana from Frederick, Maryland. Hi, Monique in New Mexico. Welcome, welcome. And just so that everyone knows, a little housekeeping item. When you type in the chat, you should have above where you type a little thing that says to, who you're sending the chat to. And there's a drop down there, and you should be able to choose all panelists and attendees. Just make sure you choose all panelists and attendees, because I'm the only panelist. So if it says all panelists, I'm the only one who will see it. But if you choose all panelists and attendees, then everybody on the call will see it. Unless you want to send something just to me and then choose all panelists. All right, let's see. Okay, wonderful. So glad to have everybody on. I'm going to give people who are joining just one more minute here so that they will get the full experience. See people making connections in the chat. Wonderful. That is fantastic. That is beautiful. Let me just make sure I've got all my pieces of the puzzle ready here. Okay, good. Okay, very good. So I think we will go ahead and get started, and I'm sure lots more people will be joining and others will be watching this as a recording. So I just want to say a big welcome to everybody, and I'm just so happy to see so many people tuning in today so that we can have this real conversation about how we can take charge of our health and make conscious choices that will support our physical body, that will boost our immunity, boost our longevity, and really promote balance in all aspects of our life. Because let's face it, we live in kind of a crazy world right now, right? There's all kinds of not so healthy things going on. And so we really need to take that into account and balance that out with our choices. So I do want to say now at the beginning here that this is really your time to focus on your vibrant health. So please do go ahead and turn off any distractions, put your cell phone aside, close the window to your email, close the door if you can, and just really settle in and get comfortable and just enjoy this time. What I'm going to share is very, very powerful and very important information for your future, really, because this is about our health. This is just what I'm going to share with you here is just so personally meaningful to me, and I will tell you more detail on that in a little bit, but I know it will be for you too. For you, your own personal health, for your families and your friends, as you'll be able to share this information with them. So really, really tune in. Don't be distracted, just fully focus on this for a little while here. We will probably run about 90 minutes. If you can stay on at least for the first hour, that's great. And then we will probably go to 90 minutes, including the Q&A. And I'm very excited to offer that Q&A here too. I really love doing that live component where we can get to chat with you all here together. So today I'm going to share a ton of valuable information with you. And then in a little while in this webinar, I'm also going to reveal to you a really wonderful way that you can go even deeper in recalibrating your approach to food and nutrition and really creating excellent health on all levels. So, and also everyone who stays on for the full webinar will receive the amazing ebook, 3 Keys to Ensuring Your Kitchen is Free from Toxins. I'm really excited to have put that together and to offer that to you today. So if you stay actually just until the beginning of the Q&A, you will get access to that ebook. So we all know that the food we eat and the beverages that we drink are critical to our health. Because quite literally, we are what we eat. And we've all heard that a million times, right? So it loses its impact, but just think about that. We really and truly are what we eat. And when we can be eating healthy, when we can be eating organic whole foods, and when we are getting lots of fruits and vegetables, and when we're drinking lots of water throughout the day, and healthy herbal teas or green tea, right? And when we reduce our sugar intake and reduce our caffeine, our bodies really respond. Our bodies are these beautiful, finely tuned instruments that are meant to tell us if what we're doing to them is good or bad, right? And so when we are really taking steps to immerse our bodies in health, in healthiness, in everything that we're putting into them, we are going to feel so much better. We're going to feel so different than when we're taking a, half-hearted approach to it or not really being conscious about it. And so that's what I want to talk with you about today. Now, we also know that there are so many global health epidemics going on right now. There are huge increases in the last few decades in diabetes, in obesity, in cancer, in memory loss, such as Alzheimer's and Parkinson's diseases, in increasing numbers of behavioral and developmental delays in children. And also, we're all experiencing increased stress, anxiety, and depression on different levels. This affects different people in different ways, of course. But all of these are not just at the highest levels they've ever been, but they're also increasing. And so you have to understand also that while these are, the scientifically measured, and these are the things that are in the headlines right now, there are also some less measurable or less observable effects that it's having on all of us, right? All of the different craziness in our world as far as, toxins and pesticides and all this is also having a not so noticeable effect on each of us as individuals. And there are, of course, a number of factors at play in that, but what we're really going to focus on today is that the fact that we have control we have, of course, not complete control over what governmental agencies are doing, right, or big food companies are doing, but we get to choose what we put into our bodies, and we get to choose what we surround ourselves with in our home, in our yard, and to choose less toxic and much more healthy alternatives. So we're going to talk about that today. And once we take some time to really learn, to really become informed on how to take charge of our health, it becomes so much more clear that there are lots and lots of simple and easy solutions that we can really easily incorporate into our everyday routine. And so what I'm going to share with you today is going to cover three main topics. One is, how can you receive more of the natural and healthy nutrients that our bodies really need, right? The second one is, how can we be really conscious about keeping out preservatives and GMOs and pesticides and other nasty things that tend to creep into our food supply these days? And also, the third one is, how can we keep our environment as toxin-free as possible to prevent dangerous chemicals from entering into our bodies? These are the three key areas where we get to choose. We get to make a choice. So no matter how crazy the world is around us, we get to choose, and we get to keep ourselves healthy and our families healthy in these three key ways. So what I want to share with you very, very first here too is my story. So for those of you who may not know a lot about me already, in addition to being the founder of Sacred Planet, I'm also a mom. And my daughters are 4 and 7 years old. And so when my first daughter was born, it was really quite an awakening experience for me. And I'm sure many of you who have become parents and those who have then also become grandparents have experienced this too. You know, looking down at that perfect little brand new human being and thinking, oh my goodness, what kind of world am I going to be leaving to her? What kind of world am I bringing her into? And what kind of world do I want to leave to her? How do I want to change my life and do what I can do to create a better world for her? And also, you know, on a very personal one-to-one level with her only, how can I make sure to keep her healthy as she grows? And so this launched quite a campaign on my part to learn every single thing that I possibly could about, you know, foods and toxins and nutrition and, you know, just every single way that I could find to keep her healthy and to help her grow up in the best possible way, and also to keep myself healthy, you know, so that I can be there for her. And what I discovered is that it's really difficult to find reliable information on these topics. There's a ton of information out there, but it's really, really overwhelming to sort through it all. And it's tough to know what you can really count on as being a fact. There are so many contradictory reports out there. And unfortunately, a lot of the research that's available has been funded by these huge multinational companies whose best interest is in making money, which many times involves keeping the wool over our eyes, you know, us being the public audience. So for example, these huge cereal companies like General Mills and Kellogg's, you know, they are selling food products in the case of the cereals, and in particular the children's cereals, that are coated in sugar, that are made with GMO wheat and corn, and they're filled with preservatives. And unfortunately, these huge companies have deep pockets, and they have connections with some very high-ranking agencies, you know, in the U.S. So they, unfortunately, the fact is that the truth in many cases about what we're feeding ourselves and feeding our families is largely hidden from the public eye. And so, as many of you may already know, one of my core missions for myself and for my clients is about unlearning the information that no longer serves us. Unlearning what we discover along our truest path to no longer be true, right? And so a very good example of this is the label on the Lucky Charms box that says gluten-free and contains 9 essential vitamins and minerals, right? But of course, you know, you have to get to the really, 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 really small print to see all the preservatives and the fact that, you know, it's not even stated on the box that these are GMO wheat and corn, you know. So, or I think in the case of Lucky Charms, it must be only corn. But anyway, we need to seek out the truth. We really need to be very, very conscious about the choices that we make. So I decided that I needed to launch an even fuller investigation into the real truth. And so I decided to enroll in a holistic health and nutrition program where I could learn the real story about what's going on from many, many, many different angles. The primary angles that I wanted to find out about are from a historical perspective. You know, how has the food that's available to us changed and evolved over the last 100 years or so? An agricultural perspective, of course, you know, how is it produced? A holistic health perspective, how is it affecting our bodies, and a scientific perspective. So what are the studies that have been done, and what are the leading scientists really saying? So I decided to enroll in this program and to get the real facts about, you know, from all of these angles, and to find out how I could, what my goal eventually became, to not only do this just for me and my family, but then also to share that information with you. And so that's what I'm going to be doing here today. And what I've learned is exactly what I have brought together here for you that I'm going to share in this webinar, so that you too can be armed with the real truth, and so that you can go forward from this webinar fully able to make healthy and informed decisions to support your health, both physically and psychologically for you, and also for your family and your friends. There's one more really important thing that you need to know as we get started here, and that is that when we are feeling good, right, when our energy levels are high, when we're getting good sleep and plenty of sleep, when we're happy with our weight, right, and when we feel like we're in control of our physical health, something really wonderful happens. Because then we can get out of kind of survival mode, right? Because when we're struggling just on a physical level with things, when we're not feeling well, or if we're feeling anxious or depressed, or if we're, you know, just feel like we're out of control with, you know, what's happening with our physical body, that keeps us in survival mode, at least on some levels, right, of how we're functioning. And so when we can rise above that and feel like we're really in control, and that we're in control of the choices that we're making, you know, and to not be so overwhelmed by, you know, hearing all the awful details about toxins in our world, right? That is when we're going to be able to be our best creative selves and have the energy to go out into the world and find what is most fulfilling to us and do it. And that's another huge part of my mission, is to guide and support people all around the world in breaking free from what holds you back and going out and creating a life where you can do what you love every day. So I really want to support you in that from this perspective too, you know, and I've been in my coaching work supporting people in their personal development and in their business development. And I'm so happy to add this aspect of supporting you in your health and in your wellness, and in helping you to detox from, you know, the crazy stuff in our world. So it's so important to know that it's going to make such a big difference to you if you can feel joyful and passionate and fulfilled every day. You're going to go out and you're going to change the world in your own way. And it doesn't matter if you're changing the world in big ways or little ways. It all matters in any case where you are living in a way that you're feeling fulfilled and joyful and happy every day and in control of your situation, then you are going to be making the world a brighter, happier, and healthier place. And so, you know, that's why we're all here, to shine our light and to make the world a better place in the way that only we can each do. So I want to support you in that very, very strongly. So first, you know, in this webinar, I want to open up your eyes to some health facts that you may not have known before. And I want to also give you some immediately actionable steps to really help you improve your health, your energy levels, your longevity, and your vitality. So with that said, I do feel that we really need to look at the facts. We need to look at the truth for a little while here initially. And the facts in this case are not always easy to look at. But it's so important to be informed. And it's so important to understand what is really going on behind the scenes in some of these issues that we face, like the rising global health epidemics, right? Before we can accurately and thoroughly implement the solutions. So we're just going to take a quick dive into some things that are going on in our world today. And it's not a pretty picture, but we're going to get through this together. And then I'm going to be sharing a lot of solutions with you to help you on a very practical and, like I said, easy to implement level to really help you make these conscious choices in your day-to-day life. So here are some of the problems that are affecting our health in the modern world today. So one being the medical system and pharmaceuticals in particular is what's really, really relevant to this health and nutrition topic. So pharmaceuticals, as an offshoot of today's medical system, are designed to treat our symptoms, not to treat the underlying cause. And so that's the difference between kind of the mainstream medical system versus holistic health. In holistic health, a practitioner will look at the entire person, and will find out about all different aspects of what they're experiencing and look at that as a whole picture rather than taking, little isolated incidents and, okay, so you have pain in your knee, let's give you, some painkiller, or you need surgery for this thing. Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the underlying root causes instead. That's what we do in holistic health. So the medical system is taking an approach that just does not honor our body's miraculous ability to heal itself. Our body has a natural propensity to, self-rejuvenate, to self-heal. And so we really need to honor that. We really need to get back to that. In the medical system today, typically if your case is a, something that's not easy to fix right at the surface level, you will need to undergo rigorous and invasive testing to find out your common denominators with other known cases, right? Rather than treating you as a unique individual. And so that's a big issue too, is to kind of say that, okay, so this pharmaceutical drug is a, one size fits all for many, 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 many people. And I mention this because the opposite of that, and again, what we need to really get back to is if we look at using plants as medicine, using natural remedies. And these are plants as simple as, the herbs that you have in your kitchen. Plants can provide us with not only healing and helping us with our symptoms, but they also are providing nutrition and rejuvenating our body at the same time, which pharmaceutical drugs just do not do. Pharmaceutical drugs, on the other hand, are introducing chemicals and toxins into your body at the same time. So we really want to become informed about this and know how to be able to make the choice. So in some cases, pharmaceutical drugs are necessary, and there are some really amazing cases where pharmaceutical drugs or surgery have saved lives. Many, many, many cases where they have saved lives. But you just want to be really, really informed so that if you're about to undergo a surgery or if you're about to be put on a medication for the rest of your life, is this really necessary? Is there a more natural alternative? You really want to look deeply into that. Okay. One other thing I want to mention about the medical system is that antibiotics have been so overused that they're losing their effectiveness. And, they've not just been overused by the medical system, they've been overused by the food, industry and agriculture, because for long, long periods of time, all of the animals were given antibiotics because then, they didn't get sick. And unfortunately, that just put so much of the antibiotics into all of our bodies, all of the animals' bodies, and then into rivers and lakes and into the ground, because when we, flush all this out of our bodies, then it goes into the ground, right? And so it's become quite a crisis where antibiotics are no longer effective. So then I always turn to my favorite, Stephen Harrod-Buhner, but we have resources like this where there are herbal antibiotics. There are natural alternatives to cases that pharmaceutical antibiotics can't cure. So we really, really want to be aware of what's available when we're making medical decisions and when we go to see the doctor. And I think it's always a very, very good idea, especially if you have something that's been a chronic issue or something that's troubling you quite a bit, that you see not only a medical doctor, but also a natural, a holistic practitioner of some sort. So whether it's a homeopathic practitioner or a nutritionist, to really get both sides of the coin and then make the decision based on what you know to be true. So yeah, we really want to take all this into account related to our medical system. Also, it's so important to be proactive so that we don't have to end up depending on the medical system, right? So we can use holistic and alternative treatments such as acupuncture or Reiki or massage or many, many other modalities that are available to just keep all of our bodily systems running really well and really smoothly on an even keel all the time, okay? And that's going to help to prevent these bigger problems from happening so that hopefully we won't have to go to the doctor with anything serious. And also, just other preventative measures like practicing good nutrition, which is what we're going to be talking about here, regular exercise, good quality sleep, getting enough sleep, really getting like 7 or 8 hours of sleep a night, and taking supplements or herbs to boost your vitality. And we're going to talk about that soon too. There's so much that we can do to take control of our health so that we don't have to be falling back on the medical system or falling back on pharmaceuticals. My grandfather is 92 years old and he only takes one prescription drug. And until last year, he didn't take any. And I just think that's something that we should all strive for. I think that's absolutely incredible. And he gets a lot of pressure. The doctors would have him on, 10 or more different things by now, but he doesn't want to go there. He knows that he can, he's in control and he can handle his body with either natural remedies or with different supplements that he knows. So it's really incredible, really very admirable, I think. Okay, so the next thing to think about is our food and how is our food coming to us, right? How's it being prepared? How's it being stored? And what's going on behind the scenes with the marketing that we need to watch out for? So many foods are sold and marketed with money as the primary objective, not people's health. And this is really sad. This is honestly to me really hard to believe that this is the state of our world, because really and truly, shouldn't the health of humanity be the top priority of any food producer? But unfortunately, that's not always the case. There are many wonderful food companies out there, don't get me wrong, but some of them are putting profit ahead of people's health. So the food that is really readily available and that is the least expensive on the market is very often harmful because in many cases, this is things like white bread, from GMO wheat, sugary cereals coated with sugar, filled with GMO grain products, highly processed foods, like even many granola bars contain like 30 different ingredients and lots of different preservatives in there. And our bodies, so the scientific fact around this is that our bodies do not even recognize some of these substances, like Wonder Bread, for example, as food. It is unrecognizable versus the bread that you would have eaten, that came from the baker 100 years ago, before all of these, GMOs and pesticides and different things were introduced into our food system. So we've got to be really careful here because this is, our bodies can handle a lot. Our bodies can process out a lot of toxins, and that's wonderful. But we want to give them the best raw materials to work with. And things that they don't even recognize as food is not a good material to start with, right? So, you can look at the ingredients on, say, a box of granola bars or a box of cereal or a bread package, and you'll see 10, 20, 30, or even more ingredients in some cases. So why are all of these different additives needed? And what impact are they having on our bodies? We've got to be really, really aware of this. The other thing is that a lot of chemicals are used in the food preparation and packaging process. So there's, preservatives, there's plastics, things are wrapped in plastic, things are like heat sealed into plastic. Heat activates plastic and actually makes the plastic molecules go into the food. So it's, we don't want to mess with that. There's a lot more about that in the free ebook that I'm going to give to all of you. And so you'll read more about that there and how to make sure that you're not being exposed to those kinds of things. And so we really want to be aware of this, and we want to try to make our food at home as much as possible, or purchase pre-made food that we know is healthy, that has a minimal number of ingredients, or if it can be something that was prepared fresh at the store where you bought it from, and they show you what the ingredients are that are in it. That is the best way to go. Okay. We want to really avoid the middle aisles of the shopping or of the supermarket whenever possible, because that's where all the processed stuff is. One really key thing that I really want to share with you that I've discovered recently is that microwave popcorn has plastic coating on the inside of the bag. Okay. And that gets heated in the microwave, right? So we really want to pop our popcorn on the stove. I just started doing this with my girls, and it's so much fun. And it's really not any harder than popping it in the microwave, right? So pop your popcorn on the stove, not in the microwave. Little things like this that we can do that make a huge difference in protecting our bodies, right? And then also we want to purchase and store foods in glass containers, not plastic, whenever possible. Glass is very, very safe. Whereas plastic, I'm sure you've all heard about the BPA controversies and everything. And even if it's BPA free, that doesn't mean it's safe, right? More about that in the free ebook also. You really just want to be safe, you want to avoid plastic wherever possible. Okay, so then the next thing that we want to look at is agriculture. So modern agriculture is a far cry from the traditional nature-based agriculture that our bodies have evolved to, be aligned with from whatever it was 5,000 or 10,000 years ago, right? When people began settling and doing agricultural activities. And so the agriculture that we see today, there are just way too many pesticides used. We are making GMO foods that just go absolutely against the laws of nature. And we don't know the long-term effects of this, both in our bodies and on the earth. So we really want to stay away from that whenever possible. So we want to buy organic. We want to buy non-GMO, pesticide-free foods whenever possible. Now, I know that gets expensive. So what we need to do is just try whenever possible to buy organic or to buy the brand. So there's a lot of brands out there now that are not certified organic, because that is a very expensive process for the farmers and the food producers to go through. But they will be pesticide-free and GMO-free, for example. So look for that, because it's often a much lower price point than the organic food, but you're assured that you're not going to have any GMOs or any pesticides in there. And those are some of the really key main things to look out for. And this is especially important with our dairy and our meat products. And I'm sure you've all heard a lot about how, dairy is so bad for us now, or meat is so bad for us and bad for the environment. And so there's a lot of controversy about this, quite a bit. And for some people, it's definitely true. Like some people definitely should not have dairy or meat, and they see the effects in their bodies when they eat it. And you probably know if you're one of those, right? But for some people, it is healthy to have dairy and meat. But you really want to choose to have organic dairy and meat whenever possible, because these are in these large production facilities for both dairy and for meat products. They tend to use a lot of pesticides. Some are still using antibiotics. And so if we choose organic, it's going to make a tremendous difference for our bodies. So especially with dairy and meat, we really want to choose organic options whenever possible. Okay, so what can we do then about all of this scary stuff, right? So we talked about all these different ways that toxins are coming in, and the medical system is not really helping us in the best ways that we need, and how our foods are even prepared and delivered to us might not be safe, right? So what can we do about all of these things that are going on all around us that we feel like we don't have much control over? And so as it turns out, there is a lot that we can do, but we have to be informed. We have to seek out the truth, and we have to sort out the real facts from the fake facts, which can be hard to do. And then we will really know how to protect our bodies and how to keep our families healthy. So here's one thing that's critically important for you to know. We are born with universal knowledge about what's healthy for us and what's not. Our bodies are very precise instruments, as I said earlier, that they are precisely attuned to let us know, often immediately, within 5 to 15 minutes, if something that we just ate was good for us or bad for us. And the thing is that in this modern world, we've become so inundated. Our bodies, physical bodies, are so inundated with non-healthy substances that this sense gets kind of dulled out over time. And we stop being able to feel if we, so some people eat dairy and inflammation starts to happen internally, right? But if you are somebody who that happens for, but you eat dairy every day, that just feels normal to you. And you don't realize that you're feeling awful all the time, right? You might think that's just normal. That's just how I feel all the time. When really, if you were to take a step back and remove dairy, for example, or remove gluten, or just really take some conscious effort to inundate your body instead with very, very healthy foods all the time, then you would be able to realize how different you feel, how bad you feel when you eat dairy. So this is like, for me, I don't eat a lot of ice cream anymore because I love ice cream. I used to eat it a lot. And then I started, doing this health program where I'm studying all these different things. And I kind of really started just trying to eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables and just not a lot of dairy, hardly any dairy. And it's incredible because now when I eat ice cream, I feel terrible afterwards. So I can eat yogurt and feel fine, but ice cream, for whatever reason, maybe it's the extra sugar, I don't know, makes me feel really, really bad. And I never knew that. I never realized that before when I was eating ice cream, that I was feeling really bad afterwards because it was more like normal. And so I think this is true for many different people. Now we're all so different, and it's different things that are making us feel bad in different ways, right? But when we take the time to check and see, okay, if I eliminate sugar from my diet for 2 weeks, and then I start eating sugar again, how do I feel? Or if I eliminate dairy from my diet for 2 weeks and then go back and try dairy again, oh my gosh, it makes me feel really different. So these are things we can do. We can make conscious choices, and sometimes eliminating certain things that we think might be a factor in how we're feeling is really, really effective in helping our body to just clear out and purify all that inflammation or all the toxins or whatever it might be, so that we can get back to a really solid and stable and healthy place. And from there, we can feel our body communicating with us, because our bodies are so intelligent and just precisely designed to communicate with us what's good or bad for us. And when we start eating those healthier foods, or when we eliminate the foods that we think might be causing us issues, we get to see this happening. We get to see how our body is giving us this feedback. And it's so amazing and beautiful to witness that, and to begin to feel like you can really trust your body again, like you and your body are really on the same page and can mutually support one another, right? And rather than feeling like your body is betraying you in some way, like, why do I always feel so bad? Or why can I never sleep at night? Instead, you will feel like you're in control of the situation, and it's absolutely incredible to make that shift. That is the natural way that we're supposed to live, in this way that is very, very attuned to what's going on with our physical body at every moment. So in order for you to begin experiencing this, because I want you all to experience this, and so we're all very, very different, so this is going to be different for every single one of us. But I want to share with you some key guidelines that are some really universal changes that pretty much everyone can make fairly easily to begin adding new healthy options to your diet. And so also to eliminate foods that are not so good for you, okay? And also I want to tell you that every single suggestion that I'm going to make below will naturally help you to detoxify your body. And I just think that removing toxins in every possible way is absolutely key to how we can protect ourselves, simply because chemicals and toxins are so prevalent in our modern world today. So when we come back to natural, whole, organic or at least pesticide-free foods, and especially the ones that I'm about to share with you next, it really allows our bodies to do their amazing work of cleansing and purifying our systems and our organs, and so that all parts of our physical body can get back to functioning in the amazing ways that nature intended for us. So I'm going to share with you 7 steps here that you can take, starting with some easy ones and then getting to some ones that are a little bit harder, but just totally worthwhile. So you may want to take some notes here. Also, I'll be sending out the recording of this, so you'll be able to watch the recording again anytime that you want. But if you want to take notes, this is a good time to do so. So the first tip I want to share with you is to drink lots of water. Now, we all know this, but how many of us are really doing it, right? Even with me, you know, being in this program where I'm learning so much about my health, some days I find myself, so I have this like 16-ounce glass of water that I keep with me all the time, and glass, not plastic. All right, guys, seriously. And in your reusable water bottles, glass or metal, stainless steel being the best, or glass, you know, stainless steel or glass are the best. Really, because you just don't want to have, if once you get the free ebook, you'll read more about this, but we really just want to stay away from plastics wherever possible. Okay, but back to the water. You should be getting at least 64 ounces of water every day. So that is 4 glasses like this, 4 16-ounce glasses. This is just a standard size. I'm probably making it look really big. It's just a standard size water glass. If you can drink more than 64 ounces a day, even better. And so here's a pro tip on drinking the water. Drink at least 1 full glass like this, a 16-ounce glass, in the morning as soon as you wake up. What I do is I fill this glass up and I put it by my bedside when I go to sleep. And then when I get up in the morning, like before I even start walking around in my house, I just sit there and drink that whole 16 ounces of water. And then I'm a quarter of the way there for the day. Yay. Also, and so that's just going to help you feel better right away. It's so much better for your body overall than a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And I know the cup of coffee or cup of tea like helps us get going and everything, but that glass of water is just so good for your body. If you can, if you're feeling extra ambitious, if you squeeze half a lemon of lemon juice and put it in that water and drink it first thing, that's really, really good for you. Just don't brush your teeth immediately after that because the lemon juice can reduce the strength of the enamel on your teeth. So you just want to wait like half an hour before brushing your teeth after you drink that lemon water. Okay, so the other thing you can do with the water is to try to drink all of it like earlier in the day, like maybe before 2 or 3 p.m. This, for one thing, just helps you feel great all day long because you're fully hydrated all throughout your day. And if you try to cut back on the water within the hours leading up to bedtime, then that will help you sleep better because you won't be getting up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, right? Because you won't be like overloaded with water at that point of the day. So drink your water first thing in the morning and all throughout the early parts of the day. It's really, really, that's just one of the best things you can do for your body. So tip number 2 is to remove sugary drinks from your diet. And so, yes, we're sticking with beverages here for the first 3 actually tips, because this is just such an easy way to make change. So if you are drinking sodas of any type, the best thing you can do is to stop right now. Sodas are just filled with sugar. Many of them are filled with caffeine. And if they're not filled with sugar, they're filled with artificial sweeteners because they're all just really, really sweet, right? Artificial sweeteners are even worse than regular sugar because they're made from chemicals. They're not even a real food. And so sugar, as well as artificial sweeteners, actually make us gain weight, right? And we don't want that. We really don't want that. Fruit juices, while not as bad as sodas, are also a huge source of sugar. So if you look at the ingredients on the fruit juice bottle, sugar will either be the first ingredient or high fructose corn syrup or whatever. It will be really, really high on the list. And this is just not natural and it's not healthy. So for you, for your kids and grandkids, get rid of the fruit juices. You know, everybody should be drinking primarily water and then teas. You know, maybe I understand, you know, I love coffee. I don't drink coffee anymore, but I love coffee. So I totally understand if you drink your coffee. Not too much of it, right? You know, you don't want to just hype up your system too much with all that caffeine, but I understand drinking coffee. But water should be the main beverage all throughout the day, not Gatorade. Gatorade's in the same, and Powerade, those are in the same categories with fruit juice and sodas. Too much sugar or too much of the artificial sweeteners. Sugar does a lot of bad things for us. Sugar is one of the key causes not only of diabetes, and it is very, very highly linked with cancer in many, many, many scientific studies, but it's also linked with anxiety and depression. So, when we eat sugar or artificial sweeteners, they tend to do the same thing. They create these cravings, right? So I noticed that if I eat a breakfast that's really high in protein, then I feel more even on an even keel all throughout the day. But if I eat a breakfast like, something that's got more sugar in it, then I'm craving stuff all day, and I have these ups and downs of like craving, fulfilling, and it's like it can never be satiated. So eating sugar and dealing with those resulting cravings causes our blood sugar and our heart to experience these radical ups and downs all throughout the day. And it's just not healthy. And especially if you are a naturally sensitive person, these fluctuations are going to leave you feeling nervous and anxious on the high side, right? And drained and hopeless on the low side. And it's terrible. And we get into these cycles. And again, we just start to think like, oh, this is just how I feel all the time. And it doesn't have to be that way. So eliminating those sugary drinks is a huge, huge step forward toward getting sugar out of your life. And sugar is something you really do want to get out of your life as much as possible. Okay, so tip number 3 is add green tea to your daily routine. I love to have green tea as an afternoon tea. I always drink black tea in the morning, green tea in the afternoon. Green tea is just so delicious. You can drink it with or without honey. Honey is a good natural sweetener as a replacement of sugar, by the way. Agave nectar is another. But so honey in your green tea is delicious, but honestly, I think green tea is just so delicious even without any sweetener. And it has just so many health benefits. So I'm going to read it. I'm going to share. I have a list here. I'm going to share a few of them with you, these health benefits, because it's just amazing. So green tea can delay the signs and symptoms of aging, because it's very rich in antioxidants. And so what happens is that there are these things called free radicals that are created in our body that are responsible for corrosion of our cells, or like the breakdown of our internal systems. And so antioxidants neutralize those free radicals and help us to look more healthy, to look younger, and also to feel younger for longer. They also, because of the green tea, because it is a stimulant and it has a little bit of caffeine, it does improve your blood circulation and enhances metabolism, but in a very healthy way. So drinking green tea every day can help you to lose weight over a long term once you do it, regularly. It also boosts your immunity. So there's something called catechins that are in the green tea, and that prevents bacteria and viruses from attaching to your cell walls. So this means that the bacteria and the viruses can't grab on inside of you, and they'll just get flushed out, right? And you won't get that bug or that cold or whatever. So it protects you from all kinds of things like bad breath, tooth decay, flu, cough and cold. All of these different things can be prevented by these catechins that are in the green tea. Those same substances also prevent the formation of carcinogens. And so by doing that, they reduce your risk of cancer. And there's actually been so many studies done now on green tea as a cancer preventer and a cancer reducer that regular consumption of green tea is now being clinically used and prescribed as an at-home remedy to aid in the prevention of cancer, particularly for people who are at high risk of things like colon cancer, pancreatic cancer, intestinal cancer, etc. Green tea is actually being recommended for them as a daily thing. So there's just so much that it does. So drink some green tea every day. There are some just really delicious varieties of green tea available. It is not very expensive, and it's so easy to add. I think it's a great, great afternoon tea to use as like a little pick-me-up. Instead of eating sugar in the afternoon at 2 p.m., drink a cup of green tea. It is going to just benefit your body in so many ways. Okay, so tip 4 is to take turmeric. Now, I'm sure you've all heard that turmeric is like this miracle herb, as many studies are finding now. Turmeric contains curcumin And this is a naturally occurring compound that has been proven to provide an extraordinary number of benefits to the human body. So there are, I've heard herbalists like David Wolfe, for example, he's a master herbalist. He says, he's very well known, he says that if there is one herb that you could take that will make a significant positive impact on your health, it would be turmeric. So studies have shown that regularly taking turmeric, and you can buy it in like little capsules, you know, or you can add it to foods. It's a spice, right? So you can add it to different foods. Taking turmeric regularly can prevent heart attacks, prevent diabetes. It kills cancer cells. It reduces or even cures joint pain. There's one study that found that regularly taking turmeric supplements work just as well as taking ibuprofen in patients who had knee osteoarthritis. So that's pretty incredible. And there's another less studied substance in turmeric. So the main substance that you hear about is curcumin, but the other one is called aromatic tunerone, and this promotes the repair of stem cells in the brain. So it's also good for your brain and for helping you to have, you know, healthy brain function for longer in your life. Now, one important note here is that turmeric can slow blood clotting, and it can interact with some pharmaceutical medications. So it is best to just check with your doctor before you start regularly taking turmeric. But that's something that is well worth the little bit of time that it would take to check with your doctor and make sure there's no, you know, indications that you shouldn't take it before you start taking it. Okay, so hope you're all taking lots of notes. So tip number 5 is to get plenty of fresh leafy greens. Leafy greens are truly, truly miracle superfoods. And superfoods, if you're wondering what those are, superfoods are foods which provide the most health and nutritional benefits for the calories that you're consuming. So let's see, I'm just reading a chat note there. So leafy greens, and so there are so many leafy greens out there that are extremely healthy. But some of them that are, you know, the easiest to find are kale, bok choy, collard greens, and chard. Those are some of the really, really healthiest ones and easiest to find, but there are so many others. And leafy greens just have so many incredible health benefits that I cannot possibly list them all here. But some of the benefits are as follows. So they are anti-aging and brain protecting. They have nutrients such as vitamin K, folate, beta carotene, and lutein, all of which are very, very high in leafy greens. And these contribute to keeping you young and keeping your brain protected and your memory protected. They also actually help your DNA to repair itself, and they support healthy cell division, which is very, very critical in preventing cancer and other diseases that tend to occur more as we age. Because when our cells stay strong and healthy, and when they can replicate in healthy ways, diseases like cancer and memory loss and things that come with age tend to stay away. So that's just really so important. They also help protect your heart health by reducing blood clots. They actually, over time, prevent heart attacks, and they regulate cholesterol and triglycerides and keep blood pressure low. So those are really, really big too. The high fiber in leafy greens supports a healthy digestive system. And as doctors and scientists are increasingly discovering, this is something that you hear over and over in the latest scientific studies that are coming out. And that's why probiotics are getting so big these days, because our entire body's health really begins with a healthy digestive system. So anything that you can do to boost the health of your digestive system is going to be critical to helping you be healthy throughout your body. And leafy greens actually convert fat storing cells into fat burning cells. So they are not only just low calorie foods, which is good for weight loss, but they actually help internally for you to burn more fat. So they are really, really effective in weight loss. And then the last thing I want to mention is that they help to keep your body alkaline. And research increasingly shows that as acidity in our bodies is a contributing factor in cancer and many other diseases. So if we can keep our bodies more alkaline, which is the opposite of acidic, then that is just really, really good and supportive of all of our systems too. And leafy greens help to do that. Okay, so I will, when I send out the recording, I'm going to send you links to where you can find more information about all of these, because I think it's just so important for you to be really informed and educated on what you are eating. but I wanted to make these suggestions here. So I have 2 more steps for you. So tip number 6 is to reduce or completely eliminate, if you can, the amount of foods that you buy from the center aisles of the grocery store. I know that's hard, depending on what your habits are. But if you can shop around the outside and just focus on, spend the most time in produce, and buy it organic if you can. And then, there's meats and dairies around the outside, and just try to buy organic when you can and try to stick with what you know to be healthy. Prepackaged meats like salami and bologna and those kinds of things are just not healthy. They have a ton of preservatives and just not a lot of nutritional value for the calories that you will take in. So, especially if you do shop in the middle aisles, look at the number of ingredients in the things that you're buying. And if they have more than like 4 or 5 or 6 ingredients, then pass it by. Because if there's more than 4 or 5 or 6 ingredients, it's also going to have not just food ingredients, but preservatives and different chemicals and things. And these things come under all different names. It's really, really hard to know when you get up to that long list of ingredients of things that you can't pronounce. It's really hard to know what you're really actually putting into your body. So I just advise you to become really, really aware of that and shop around the outer aisles, or if you shop in the middle, keep it to a low number of ingredients. And then, so as I said, I told you these would be getting a little harder near the end, right? The easiest one is drink lots of water. But so step 6, I know it's hard to completely avoid those middle aisles, but I really do strongly recommend that if you can. And then step 7, or tip 7 here, is to cook at home as often as you can. Make your own food. This will actually save you tons of money because you won't be paying for all of the processing and packaging of all those middle aisle foods, right? So if you shop around the outside of the store, focus on produce, and cook at home, you are just going to be automatically eliminating all kinds of toxins and plastics and GMOs and all kinds of things that are not good for your system. Also, restaurant foods, I know it's very tempting to eat out a lot, and it's quicker, no cleanup, but restaurant foods are really filled with sugar, they're filled with salt, they're filled with all kinds of heavy ingredients that are designed to taste good, but not to help our bodies be healthy. And also, you just don't know, as far as, in most cases when you go to a restaurant, unless it's a restaurant that is specifically geared to be, vegan or vegetarian or organic, you don't know where they're sourcing their products from. You don't know that you're getting antibiotic-free meat. You don't know that you're getting pesticide-free greens, right? And so you have so much more control over what you're putting into your body if you make it at home, if you purchase the ingredients yourself and make it at home. I know it's not always possible, right? But it's something that we can strive for. It's something that we can do more and more of. Also, the calorie content, at restaurants, if you've ever inquired how many calories your favorite dish has at your favorite restaurant, you'll probably be shocked, unfortunately. And so, we just want to be really aware of this, especially when we're trying to be healthy. If we're trying to lose weight, we want to be aware of what we're really putting into our bodies, right? And not turn a blind eye to it. So also, you want to find recipes that are fun and easy to make, right? You don't want to be laboring in the kitchen for 3 hours and saying, Jocelyn told me I had to cook at home, and now I'm 2.5 hours into making this meal. You want to make things that are fun and easy and enjoyable, right? And that will bring you joy in making them and eating them and serving them to your family. So if you're interested in finding fast and easy recipes to bring in really, really healthy foods into your life, I'm going to share something very exciting with you very soon, so stay tuned. So I hope you've enjoyed those 7 tips that I shared. And what I want to share with you now, I've given a lot of really valuable information today. And so I hope that you've enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll feel that you're coming away from this webinar with tons of great ideas about how to improve your health and how to feel better every day. But one thing that I can tell you with great certainty is that what we've covered here today is really only scratching the surface. There is really and truly so much more for you to learn and dive into around this topic. And even more importantly, what's right for each individual person is so very different and so very unique. And so the information that I've shared here is kind of some universally safe truths and universal ways to shift your nutritional habits, which are going to be helpful pretty much for everyone. But it's even more valuable to do an in-depth study of what you specifically need for optimal health, for the highest energy levels, for the best sleep, for higher immune function, for detoxification, for your unique physical makeup of your body. So if you're looking to go deeper into all of this, if you would like to spend some time with me at a bit of a slower pace and really delve into what is ideal for your specific body, if you would like to learn more of the science behind all of this and explore ways to make significant positive long-term shifts in your life and in the life of your family members, if you want to learn more about detoxification and how to do it in a healthy way, and if you want some exciting and fun and easy recipes to really support you through all of this, I have a very exciting announcement that I want to share with you now. So let me share this with you. Let's see. Okay, beautiful. So I want to share with you the Visionary Health 20-week breakthrough program. And this is a program that I'm going to be running. It's starting very soon. It's starting only a week from today on November 6th. And it's going to run for 20 weeks through March 19th. So what I am planning with the timeline here is that, first of all, this is going to give you some information on how to really boost your health and stay healthy and stay in control of what's going into your body during the holidays, right? Because that's a tough time of year, right? To not gain weight or to not be overwhelmed by all of the food choices available. How to really enjoy the holidays, but in a healthy way. And then when we get into the new year, we'll be looking at, speaking about individuality, your unique and special needs, how we can go into the new year with a whole new mindset, right? A whole new perspective on health and on how to really and truly optimize. Are there things you need to eliminate from your diet? Are there things that you need to shift and change in your diet to really, really optimize your health into the new year? So let me share a little bit more about this. And I do want to remind you to stay on until the end to receive some very exciting bonuses, including the free ebook that I know you all are aware of, that everyone who stays until the beginning of the Q&A will get that ebook. And here is a really nice quote that is kind of funny, actually. So if you have a good diet, you don't need doctors or drugs. And if you don't have a good diet, you don't need doctors or drugs. And that is a Chinese medicine saying. So here are the logistics for the program. It will run from November 6th to March 19th. March 19th of 2018. We will meet every other Monday at the same time that this webinar started. We'll be meeting every other Monday. It will start next week, November 6th. The modules will consist of about 60 minutes of teaching each time, followed by about 45 minutes of Q&A and live coaching. And then the final module will be a special 2-hour live session, and I'll invite everybody participating in the program to share your questions, share your experiences throughout the program, share any challenges you came across, any breakthroughs that you had, and to receive on-the-spot coaching for your unique situation. So that's going to be a special extended session of coaching, but you will get the Q&A and live coaching in every other session as well. There's going to be 10 modules with a new module introduced every other week. And so here are the modules that we'll be covering. And I'm just so excited to get into all of these topics more deeply with all of you. So module number 1 is health and nutrition in today's world and getting into your personal health history. So we talked a little bit today about the modern health crisis, and we're going to go a little bit further into that and learn more ways that you can really protect yourself and your family. And we're also going to complete your personal health history. So this is a tool that I'm going to share with you to help you to construct your healthiest life. And so this is going to really look at how are you unique and how can you use this information to make the absolute best nutritional choices for your own personal health. And you can certainly also use that tool with your spouse, with your children, with your, any other family members or friends. It's a really, really great tool. So then module number 2 is healthy nutrition basics. And here we're going to talk about the top 5 changes you can make in your everyday nutritional habits to ensure optimal health and wellness. We're also going to get into that vegan, vegetarian, or carnivore discussion, which is always really exciting, and everybody has different viewpoints here. But the thing is, the answer depends on who you are. It's all about your bio-individuality. And so we're also going to look at using your blood type, your knowledge of your blood type, to gain important health and nutrition clues. Your blood type is actually a really important pointer toward what you should be eating that will be optimally healthy for you. So then module number 3 is all about detoxing. And we hear so much about detoxing and, doing a juice cleanse or different things, but it's not always healthy and it's not always safe for all body types to detox. So who should be detoxing? How can you detox safely, and and learn more about how detoxing really supports your body. So we're going to learn why detoxing works great for some people and not so well for others. We're going to learn about the unexpected places where your body might be picking up toxins, and also how to have a comfortable low stress detox. How many of you have tried to do a detox and then you just couldn't sleep at night, or you were sweating, or you were very uncomfortable, right? We don't want to put ourselves through that. And that probably means that the detox wasn't, it depends, because in some cases that's your body flushing out toxins, but you got to be able to sleep, right? So we want to try to make the detoxing as comfortable as possible for you. And we can do that by aligning it with your body type. So we'll look at all that. And then in module 4, this is where we're going to start getting into the powerful reasons why you need to reduce or eliminate certain foods from your diet. So like I talked about today with using dairy as an example, there are some previously healthy foods like dairy, gluten, and soy that have become allergens for some people. So why is this happening? Let's really get into that conversation. There are also chemicals now that scientists have started to call obesogens, because they're finding out that they actually make us gain weight. And this is a lot of what's happening with plastics, the plastics that we are putting our food in, or that our food companies are storing our food in. And so this is why many people feel completely out of control around their weight, because you don't even realize that what's making you fat is not your food, right? It's not your food. And it's the plastics or different toxins that are coming into your body. So we can get control over this. We're going to look really closely at that and talk a lot more about that. Also, learning which foods you should eliminate from your diet based on your own body makeup, right? And that's going to change your life. It really does. It changes how you sleep. It changes how you feel every day. Changes your, a lot of times that also can be linked to anxiety and depression. If you're repeatedly eating something that just really is disagreeing with your body and you don't realize it. So that is so important to get into as well. And then we're going to look at a few specific foods to reduce or to eliminate. And the first one that we're going to look at here is sugar. So we're going to talk more about why sugar is so bad for us. What is it doing to us on the inside? And what kind of impacts is it having within our bodies? We're also going to look at the dangers of artificial sweeteners, because Splenda and Equal and things like that are not a good alternative to sugar. You don't want to reduce sugar and start using more of those. And we're going to look at what are the good alternatives, and also some amazing low sugar and no sugar recipes that you will love. And I do want to mention that with every single module here, you're going to be getting some new recipes. So I really want to try to make it easy and fun and enjoyable for you to cook at home more and more often. So module number 6, we're going to look at reducing dairy and gluten. And both of these are key in healing your digestive system. We'll talk about the hidden dangers in the dairy and wheat products that are widely available today. And we're going to talk about inflammation, which is what happens a lot of the times to people who are eating dairy and gluten and not realizing it's having a bad effect. And how can we prevent that? And we're going to talk about some really practical tips to make it easy and manageable to remove dairy and gluten for a specific period of time. And that's going to help you determine your level of sensitivity to them. And then you'll know what you need to do going forward. Can you reincorporate it back into your diet, or do you need to keep it out? Do you really feel better with it out of your diet? Module number 7 is miracle superfoods for radiant health, energy, stamina, and longevity. So now we're going to look at what can we really add in to just supercharge your health. So we'll look at what are superfoods and why are they so super. and how to incorporate superfoods into every meal of your day. You're going to be really amazed at, first of all, how easy it is to do that and how incredible you're going to feel after a few weeks of doing so. And again, lots of fun and easy recipes so that you can do this without a lot of strife and struggle in your daily life. And then we're going to look at incorporating herbs and supplements for immunity and full body health. And this is about becoming friends with plants. You know, plants are here to support us. We evolved alongside plants, and we can turn to them for herbs and for natural supplements that are going to be really, really aligned with how our body functions naturally, and that will not introduce chemicals or anything that's harmful. And so we're going to look at how to know which herbs and supplements are right for you, and pinpointing which areas are most critical for you to address. Because there's a lot of supplements available. So how to pick, oh my gosh, what should I do first, So we're going to talk about that. And like I said, establishing a relationship with healing plants. This is really a game changer. This is something that I'm going on to learn more and more and more about, is just, working with healing plants. And like I said, it's as simple as the herbs that are already in your kitchen. It's really incredible what those plants are able to do. Okay, so module 9 is, let's talk about how this is intricately related to the awakening of consciousness. Okay, because we have come down this long, long road of industrialized society, and we are waking up right now and realizing this is where it's gotten us to, where we're surrounded by toxins, where we're surrounded with pollutants, and we get to choose now. We get to choose that we're going to turn this whole thing around, right? And this is a key component of this whole program, because now that you've learned how to really help yourself feel great by going through all of the little changes that we made, and taking 2 weeks in between every module to fully integrate, to try things out, to see how you feel differently, then let's talk about how this relates to the bigger picture, right? So we're going to go back again to the vegan and the vegetarian and talk about the big picture ways that this benefits people and benefits animals, not just the animals that would have been eaten, but all the other animals on the planet, right? And the planet, our planet herself, and how are we helping Mother Earth by taking better care of our physical bodies? I think that there is such an incredible correlation, both on a personal level and on a collective level, between what kind of care do we take of our physical bodies, and what kind of care are we taking of the earth? Especially if you look at that on a collective level. I mean, it's astounding, the similarities there, right? Are we filling our bodies up with junk? Are we filling the earth up with junk? Or are we filling ourselves up with healthy, nutritive superfoods and natural herbs, and then going out and, probably if we're eating plants and herbs that are healthy for us, we probably have our own vegetable garden, and we're in relationship with the earth in that way. So it's really incredible, the similarities and how that's all connected. And then the tremendous power of our daily choices to change the world. One example of this is, every time you buy organic, you are supporting an organic farmer, and you are choosing that organic farmer over the mass production, agricom farmer conglomerate somewhere else in the world that's paying people next to nothing and that's producing foods full of pesticides, right? So choosing organic is so important, not just for putting healthier foods into our own bodies, but what are we supporting? What are we using our dollars to support? And what kind of a world are we creating with the choices that we make every day? So we're going to go into that too. Very, very interesting stuff. And then module number 10, as I mentioned at the beginning, is a special extended Q&A and coaching session. So this is really to help each of you bring everything together, talk about any challenges that came up for you, how to overcome those. We're going to do personal check-ins, talk about your progress. I will make some customized recommendations for you, and really allow you to integrate everything that you have learned optimally for your unique situation and your specific goals. Okay, so there are some very exciting bonuses that come along with this if you sign up for this program. The first 3 people to join the Visionary Health program will receive a 60-minute one-on-one personal health history consultation with me, and that can be used at any time between November 15th, 2017 and March 9th, 2018. You have to arrange that at least 5 days ahead of time, but that is a $279 value. And that is just a really incredible chance for us to work one-on-one together, looking specifically at your unique health situation and looking at how we can help you feel better and have excellent health every day. So that was a fast action bonus. That was the first 3 people. This one is also a fast action bonus because this is for everyone who registers by the end of the day, November 1st. So by 11:59 p.m. New York time on November 1st, you'll receive free VIP access to the upcoming Sacred Planet online event, which hasn't even been announced yet, but it is in the works. And this is called Remembering the Truth of Who You Are. It is a 2018 awakening experience. We're going to have the most amazing speakers sharing the most incredible information with you. You're going to love this. So you'll receive free lifetime access to all of the speaker presentations. There will be at least 24. There might be up to 30 of them, as we're still working on that project. So everyone who registers by November 1st will automatically get free VIP access to that entire event. And that's going to be in February. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay, so bonus number 3, everyone who registers for the program will receive the ebook Obesogens, How Certain Chemicals Can Make Us Gain Weight and How to Remove Obesogens from Your Life. So this is going to go really, really in depth in how you can cut obesogens out of your life. So you'll learn which chemicals are considered obesogens and why are they getting into our bodies. You'll learn about how do our bodies process chemicals and toxins on a biological level and how you can then support your body in healing from exposure to these chemicals. And 5 important steps to removing these chemicals from your body and reducing your exposure to them so they will not be influencing you anymore. And so that, again, you will be in control of what's happening with your body. So that's really, really valuable. So everybody that signs up for the program is going to get that ebook. And so for everybody who's attending the webinar, who's still on the webinar now, thank you so much for attending and for listening. And I'm so glad that you are concerned about your health and wanting to become engaged with this topic. So everyone who's listening will receive the ebook, 3 Keys to Ensuring Your Kitchen is Free from Toxins. And so this is going to tell you why toxins are entering your food from your kitchen, and the key categories of toxins in your kitchen, and how to make a few simple changes that will have a significant and lasting positive effect on your health as related to kitchen toxins, okay? This also includes some really awesome recipes for homemade cleaners, kitchen cleaners that you can use. These are really amazing. So in just a couple minutes, I'm going to tell you how you can claim that bonus. Okay, so I have made this pricing just so low for what is included. I have wanted to make this so affordable so that everybody can participate. So this is a really, really special early bird price that ends on November 5th. Okay, that's next Sunday, this coming Sunday. So a single pay in full payment of $349, this is all in US dollars, or you can do an installment plan that is 3 payments of $141 each. So you can register now. You can go to this link, and I'm going to make this a clickable link in the chat in just a second here so that you can go to it. So let me put that link in the chat for you all. You can go here right now to purchase. And you can also learn more about the program. You can see all the dates that the webinars will be, and you can also purchase from there. So there is the link. And let's go back to the presentation just for another few moments here. Okay. So again, that's an incredibly low price. There is so much included in this program. And like I said, I just want to make this available to so many people. So I have really made it priced as low as I possibly could so that it will be accessible to many people. So this purchase is risk-free to you. If you decide that this program is not right for you after the first 1 or 2 modules, really, as long as you withdraw on or before November 21st, you will get a free refund, no questions asked. After November 21st, no refunds will be issued. I just want everybody to be aware of that due to the proprietary information that will be shared in the program. So just to summarize what is included here, every module will include a 60-minute live teaching session plus 45 minutes of Q&A and on-the-spot coaching, You will receive the audio and video recordings of each session to watch and listen at your convenience. So if you can't attend at the live time, 1 p.m. New York time on Mondays, that is totally fine. You can watch every single second of it in the audio or visual or video recordings, okay? Every module will include delicious and easy recipes that will be aligned with the topics that we're covering. So it will be really easy for you to incorporate these changes into your daily habits and routines. Also, every module includes access to the private members-only course forum. So this is not on Facebook. I'm not a huge Facebook person, right? This is not on Facebook. This is a private members-only course forum where we will have discussion just with all the participants of the course and me. Okay. What I do want to say here is that with the number of people that I anticipate joining this course, I may not be able to answer every single question individually. I just want to state that ahead of time so that everybody knows. But I will come in there and I will try to answer your questions, as many as I can, and we'll try to, you know, be interacting with you so that lots and lots and lots of those questions get answered. But I just want to know that there may be a very high volume and I may not be able to answer every single one. Okay. Every module also includes links to additional resources and information to help support your healthier lifestyle. When I've done a ton of research on all these different topics, and I really, really want to share that information with you so that you can go deeper into the topics that are most meaningful to you. Okay, so here's the pricing again, and this is again an early bird special price. So this ends on Sunday, November 5th at 11:59 p.m. New York time. It is a pay in full payment of $349 US, or 3 installment payments of $141 each, and those are monthly. So if you were to make the first payment today, for example, the next payment would be taken 30 days after that, and then the final payment would be taken 30 days after that. So that's how the installment plan works. Trying to think if there's any other details about the payments that you need to know. But after November 5th, this is going to go up to $449 for the pay in full price, and it will be $175 a month for the installment plan. So you really want to buy now while the price is very, very low. So again, there's the link to register. I did put that in the chat already. And if you have any questions or if you need support, please do email Mary Jo. She is my illustrious assistant, Mary Jo at wearesacredplanet.com, and she will help you with any questions that you might have about trying to register or anything like that. Okay, so for everyone in the webinar, I want you to be able to go and claim your ebook now, and then we will get right into the Q&A. So to claim your ebook, you can go to wearesacredplanet.com. Actually, hold on one second. Let me just give you that link too in the chat so that you can very easily click on it and go and claim your ebook. All right, so to claim your free gift ebook. Now keep the Zoom window open when you do this, because we're going to have the Q&A, and there you go. And I welcome you to ask any questions that you want. Now, what I am going to say here is in the Q&A for this webinar, I'm not going to be answering any real personal health questions, because for that I would need to do a way more complete history of your, have your medical history, right? And so I can't just give real specific personal information without having one-on-one consultations with you and more in-depth consultations with you. So I just want you to know that. I welcome you to ask questions about anything that I've spoken about here generally. Ask questions about, any of the recommendations that I made, but I cannot in this format. It just isn't safe for me, for your sake, to go into, making personalized recommendations, because I just don't have enough history or information behind that. But let me go ahead then now and open up the Q&A. And I'm going to keep sharing the screen here. Let me see if I can do it this way, just so that you have this in front of you. Keep that there. Okay, very good. And okay, here, let me do this. So that you have this in front of you, and we will do the Q&A at the same time. Okay, so if anybody's interested and would like to ask a question, please go ahead and raise your hand. And it can be a question about what I talked about on the webinar today. It can be a question about the 20-week program. Any questions that you might have, just go ahead and raise your hand. I know it's hard. I know it's intimidating, but it's really fun once you get up here. It's really, really fun. So give it a try. Raise your hand. If you're wondering how to raise your hand, there should be an option for that along the bottom of your Zoom screen. Actually, you know what? Let me stop share to make it easier because you may not. I know that goes to full screen, may block you from seeing the raise your hand option. So let's come back to this. So there should be a control along the bottom of your Zoom screen. If you hold your mouse over the Zoom screen, there should be an option to raise your hand. And if you do that, then I will see you and I will bring you over to talk with me. All right, no one, someone be brave. I know someone wants to raise their hand. Let me look at the chat because I think there might have been a couple questions there. Okay, wonderful. Gabrielle, looks like you are doing awesome with drinking water, taking turmeric, and eating lots of leafy greens. Yeah, there are so many delicious, amazing ways to prepare leafy greens. So they are amazing. Okay, Sandra, I avoid processed foods. I'm trying to mainly eat raw foods, but also have protein shakes from an online organic shop. Yeah, so the protein shakes, you just want to be really conscious of what is included in those. So you may even want to ask the, you know, whoever's making the shakes, if you can see the ingredients on the protein powder. I'm assuming that's some kind of protein powder that they're putting in there, and just take a look. Because you really do want it to be mostly natural ingredients. And I have my green tea here. That's what I'm getting ready. You want it to just have mostly natural ingredients and not a lot of chemically created ingredients. There are some wonderful ways to add protein to your shakes that are not from a protein, you know, by not using a protein powder. So some ideas are an organic, all natural nut butter, like almond butter, sunflower seed butter, different things like that, especially if they are organic, are really, really healthy, and they add a lot of protein, and they also create a really nice texture for the smoothie or the shakes. And there are also some other forms of protein, like there is the seaweed. I can't think of the right name for it right now. It's not coming to me, but yeah, it's basically a seaweed, you know, that is dried and powdered, and it's an amazing protein source. You can actually buy this on Amazon. I'll have to, let me run in. I'm going to get the container just so you can see it, because it's great stuff. Very, very healthy. Here it is. Thanks for your patience. So it's spirulina, right? So this is really, really a fantastic protein source and has just so many health benefits. So if you can make your protein source in your shakes to be something like a healthy organic nut butter or the spirulina, or if it is very, very healthy and from all natural products that also have other nutritional value and are not chemicals, that's the way to go. So hopefully that answers your question, Sandra. Okay, let's see. An okay salt level in the food. So Erhard, that is going to be very individual. Let me just do a little bit of research on that and get back to you on that, because that's really going to be based on your own body makeup and, you know, your sensitivity level to sodium and different things, right? So it's very hard for me to answer that on a personal basis. Let me just do a little research and I'll send you a link to something that will give you some more information. And then maybe you could even, you know, speak to a doctor or speak to a health practitioner near you that could even give you more specific information for your, you know, your personal needs. Okay. Yeah. Coconut milk in smoothies. Yeah. Thank you, Gabrielle. Coconut milk is a good, and I don't know the protein content of coconut milk. But yeah, and I agree too that, you know, Erhard, salt should be pretty minimal, really, because salt has different effects. Now, it does have some benefits, but overall it should be as minimal as possible. how many fruits do you suggest per day? As many so, well, you want to have a balance between fruits and vegetables, right? Fruits have a lot of sugar. And so this is always a controversial topic too with some nutritionists, where some health systems or dietary recommendations will tell you not to eat any fruit. Some will tell you only to eat certain fruits like berries that are fairly low in sugar, right? So depending on your needs, you know, if someone is diabetic, for example, they need to be very, very careful of their sugar intake. But if your health is generally healthy, generally normal, then I would say a decent amount of fruit. I think I probably eat at least like 3 or 4 servings of fruit a day, right? And then 3 or 4 servings of vegetables. That's probably a good balanced approach. The limit that I would put on sugar, no sugar is best. No sugar is absolutely best. Really, and I don't know if you mean in your question, if you're thinking of white sugar or like grams of sugar content, but you really want to rule out all white sugar, all artificial sweeteners, all high fructose corn syrup. In an ideal situation, you want to get rid of all of these sources of sugar, like white sugar and artificial type sugars. And you would only want to be using a little bit of honey or a little bit of agave nectar or a little bit of maple syrup, even to minimize that as much as possible. You know, those have some health benefits, particularly the honey, but you really want to just have as close to 0 sugar in a day as possible for optimal health, and so that you'll feel the best. The health model that my program is based on, it's really a combination of many, many different things. The school that I went to was the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. So they combine, I mean, they're looking at so many different aspects. They're looking at Ayurvedic, they're looking at blood type. We're looking at a lot of different, we're looking at helping people to explore vegetarian and vegan options. We're looking at a lot of different models, and it's all combined. So it's really the predominant model, I would say, is that it's all about bioindividuality, and it's about looking at your specific body and your physical makeup and determining what is best for you. So it incorporates many, many different models in order to give you what you optimally need. Okay, let's see. Gabrielle has lots of wonderful suggestions. Sequoia, sugar-free, 252 days. Awesome. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. Yeah, and so Sandra is saying there are certain types of salt that are not so bad. Himalayan rock salt, right? And then we have the pink salt, the Himalayan pink salt. That's also has certain benefits, but still, you don't want to go overboard with it. You definitely don't want to go overboard with it. Okay, so wonderful. If nobody has any other questions, then I'm going to go ahead and close. Oh, Erhard, that's a very good question. What about stevia? So stevia is made from a plant, and so it depends what form of it you're getting. So if you are using it in a very natural form, that is fine. But if you're buying it in a highly processed form, you want to stay away from that, right? So it really depends. Okay. So cooked food and inflammation. Yeah, so the raw food is something that is not something that I have focused my research on, right? So I understand that raw food options are considered healthier in some regards as versus cooked food. And Sandra's asking about this in the chat. That is something that there is lots of good information out there. That is not something that I am going to go into in any detail in the course, and it's not something that I've done a ton of research on. But I welcome you to do your research, and to look into that. David Wolf is a really good, there's another guy too. David Wolf and Andrew Vitalis are 2 good resources that you can look into on raw versus cooked food. They have some really interesting information on that. Okay. Jenny is saying she missed it. Is it available later? Yeah, I'm going to send out the recording to everybody. So anyone that missed this or wants to watch it again, that will be available. I'm going to be sending it out tomorrow. So I welcome you to listen to it again as many times as you want. So, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and close. It looks like questions are slowing down and nobody is raising their hand. Gabrielle has lots of good information. Good work, Gabrielle. So I hope that you have all enjoyed this. It's been wonderful sharing this information with you today, and I'm really, really looking forward to sharing lots more and going way deeper and guiding each of you on your personal health journey in the 20-week program. So there's just so much that's going to be included there. I welcome you to sign up. Email MaryJo, MaryJo, at wearesacredplanet.com if you have any questions at all, and we will get right back to you. And I hope to see lots and lots of you in the class starting next Monday. Thank you so much. Blessings to all of you. Have a beautiful and wonderful day. Bye.